very fast. Honestly, to go from dick jokes into some of the very serious realms of economics that you have, man, I've been super impressed. Like, where did that kind of hit you?
I think you might be giving me a little bit too much credit. I think, no, I'm being honest. I'm really not that well read. The audience is better read in libertarian literature. They are. I'm trying to play catch up a little bit. And I would say my specialty, and it comes from my sales background and being a bullshitter, is I'm just really good at spotting bullshit. No, I'm telling, that's it. It's like, I can just tell. And now, and this was always my strategy. I didn't really think, because I was always interested in radio, and I just kind of felt like if I started reading the news every day, by the time I'm age 50, I'm going to be an expert in this, because my memory, which will probably fade because I still drink. Think about it. Like, if you're trying to read history, you know what I mean? That's not, you'll never compete with the guy who's actually lived through it and every single day was like following everything.
Ooh, man, I want to challenge you on that, because I'll tell you what, having gone through the Iraq War, Scott Horton knows way, way fucking more than I do, right? So
I got to think yes and no. I mean, yes and no. There's going to be elements of having been there and lived it that, he couldn't possibly even comprehend. So there's definitely a connection and experience to it.
Yeah.
And yes, you will have your, you know what, maybe I'm just wrong on that. You got your scholarly people that will read through things in ways that, people like me won't. And I guess maybe they'll become better experts on some of the details. But I do think over 4 years of reading the news on a daily basis and really being able to see the way they present information, I'm just pretty quick at being able to spot the bullshit. Like I more think that that's where my talent lies than in any specific economic knowledge.
So being able to see a fraud for a fraud is really kind of what's driven you to the point where, well, what most of these guys are saying is bullshit. So if I'm really looking at the bigger picture here, then what it is, when they say, the economy's fine, or, spending is okay, or whatever we're doing in terms of, the Keynesian economic madness, you kind of just saw that and was like, yeah, maybe I need to look at the other side of this.
Yeah, but it's more like today Fauci was saying his newest thing is that I just spotted it right away that the variants may lead to, unvaccinated people may lead to variants. So that's the kind of example where it's like may doesn't mean anything. That's not a scientific word. It's like you can make a truthful statement that it may. The joke I said is like it may lead to superpowers. It could do anything. There's no claim that you can make. And so you can start just telling when people won't make substantiated claims that they're usually lying. Or sometimes if the stats sound a little bit too fantastic, then I start doing the digging. And then what I think you're speaking to with the economics is I do have a basic understanding of principles of just supply and demand. And so I can usually I think the reason you reached out was after I kind of went after Biden when what he was saying made no sense. And I think I threw out the fancy word money multiplier. I'm not even sure I know that works, but I do understand that if you're spending more money, right, it's not going to lead to less inflation. That's just not, you don't have to be a genius to understand that. So it just becomes more of if you're good at spotting the bullshit, I was just able to pretty quickly spot wait a second, what is this guy saying? And then breaking it down to, I think he's saying that if we spend more, there'll be less inflation. And then just kind of breaking down that doesn't make sense. So that's what I'm saying. The economics, sometimes it's simple. It's more I can just go, oh, wait, that doesn't sound right. And then kind of digest why it's not adding up.